Hey guys, so I'm back with a roundup of some of my favourite sewing and a few knitting things for November. So first things first is the Zozo suit. So I'm sure I know a lot of people on Instagram have been ordering one of these. So it is a clothing company, online clothing company, who make I don't know if made to measures. I don't think that's the terminology they use, but basically they send you a suit in the post, you capture your measurements on an app, and then they use those measurements when you order clothes from them. But lots of people in the sewing world have been ordering these for the obvious purpose of having a way of getting a full set of measurements, because it does, well, I wouldn't say full set, but it does kind of neck, it does chest, waist, thigh, hips, and it does upper arm as well. So I've given it a try. I did get a bit of footage of me in the suit, which I may or may not include once I've had a look how ridiculous I look. But yeah, so the suit you order, if you Google Zozo you'll find them, and I'll put the link below. But the suit you pay for postage only for the suit. And obviously you can keep it and redo your measurements as often as you like when your measurements change. And you download a free app. The thing that I did find, that we have got quite a small house and there's lots of stuff in it, I found it quite difficult to get the app to be happy with basically the amount of clutter around me. So it took me a few attempts to find a room where the app was happy that it could see me well enough and that the lighting was good enough. I think obviously doing this during the winter doesn't help. But I had a go. I did it twice, and I actually found in exactly the same circumstances. Once I found a room that I eventually went with our landing, so it's quite bright. It's not massively wide, but there's nothing else, no furniture, etc. I did it twice, and the measurements, the measurements that it gave me between the two attempts, straight after one another, were sometimes a few centimeters out. So what I would say is it's good fun to have a go, and it gives you a reasonably correct set of a number of measurements, which certainly doesn't hurt to have, but really if you want really accurate measurements, you still need to get a measuring tape out. But without someone else to help you, it's a good way of just getting a set of measurements of your body, and it's quite good fun. You get a little 3D rotating view of yourself. That's quite cute as well to see. So that's the Zozo suit. The other thing I need to mention is obviously 1 Week 1 pattern, which is run by Sewers Faction this year. So my pattern pick was the Linden sweatshirt, because it's the pattern that I've made most and have done a few small hacks, etc. on. So this is one of my recent Lindens, and it's in a stretch velvet effect fabric from the Rag Market in Birmingham. I've done fairly well. I fail to get pictures every day, but I have been wearing my Lindens, so yeah, in terms of the purpose of the challenge to remind us of patterns we love and get them out of the wardrobe, it's definitely been working for that. So other things I'm participating in this year, so Christmas, there's normally some interesting swaps in the sewing community. This year I'm taking part in 2, so I've signed up for the Bombazine Mitt swap, which is, if you don't know it, it's a free pattern for an oven glove, a single oven glove. It's a very cute pattern. There's some really beautiful versions that have been made in lovely fabrics on Instagram if you look up the hashtag Bombazine Mitt. So I've signed up for that swap, and I'll be making a mitt for someone and receiving one in return Christmas Day. And then the other, the Bombazine Mitt swap is closed if you haven't signed up, but it's worth taking a look at the free pattern and what other sewers have made. And then the other swap that I'm taking part in is the Sewing Secret Santa, and that closes on the 3rd. The sign up closes on the 3rd of December. So if you haven't signed up and you want to, I'd get in there quick. And it's that's definitely this year's huge swap. There's hundreds of people signed up internationally, so that's sure to be really good fun. And that's organised by JJ from the Camden Stitch. So knitting patterns I wanted to mention. So I haven't started yet, but one of the patterns that I'm really hoping to get to over Christmas is Tin Can Knit's Strange Brew pattern. So Tin Can Knit's patterns, when they're ready to pattern, the size range, all the options for that pattern are absolutely enormous. So the patterns go from a small child up to an adult, male and female. And that's a bonus of all of their patterns. But the Strange Brew pattern one, there's even more possibilities because it's a Fair Isle yoke sweater. The pattern includes a number of different yoke options and different decoration for, you can do it top down or bottom up. There's different decorations for the cuffs, etc. But also it includes what they call a recipe to design your own yoke and your own sweater basically. So I really want to have a go at this. And I'm hoping to do a sewing theme design. This is just some scribbles that I did some time ago, but just so you see, for example, I'm trying to come up with a scissors effect, but at the moment it's just deciding whether those scissors will go along the yoke or whether I'll have them going up. So yeah, and obviously I was thinking of maybe some spools of thread, maybe a stitch and picker, we'll see. But yeah, so over Christmas, that might be something that I'm hoping that's something that I'll at least get started on. Quite a nice Christmas project in front of a film maybe, especially if I can get the design planned and then can sit and knit and relax over Christmas. That's something I'm working on. Another crochet pattern, in fact, that I've already started sewing is Loop London, the shop, release free knitting and crochet patterns from time to time, and last Christmas they released a really cute crochet mistletoe pattern. So I've just started on that. Unfortunately I don't crochet very much, so when I do I basically have to relearn the techniques again, but I've created a couple of little mistletoe leaves, and I'm hoping to at least finish, a few leaves and berries and be able to hang them around the house. The pattern suggests creating a garland to hang over a window, etc. I'm not sure I'll manage that many, but I'm going to at least hang a few. And it also suggests you can have a single piece of mistletoe, so leaves and a couple of berries, as a brooch, which is a nice idea as well for on a coat or something during the winter. So yes, so another thing I wanted to mention was the Bristol Cloth, who are fundraising at the moment. So this is a really interesting project actually. So the intention was to create a British cloth, or specifically made in Bristol, a Bristol cloth, and every aspect of production of that cloth is local. So in terms of growing the fibre, in terms of the milling and weaving, the dyeing of the cloth, so it's naturally dyed, and then finishing, etc. And then through their campaign, you can sign up to support them, make a financial contribution, a bit like Kickstarter, etc. And so you can either purchase the cloth, or they're working with local tailors and crafts people to make garments as well. So it's not cheap, this one. So a metre of cloth costs just less than £100, I think. But even if it's not something you're going to purchase, I haven't at the moment. I am quite tempted, but we'll see. But it's certainly something that's worth following along with the project and seeing where it goes next. So a favourite sewing pattern this month is the Sugarcane Coveralls pattern. So this is a new pattern company, and they have raised funding via Kickstarter to release their first 3 patterns. So there's an overall, a coverall and a skirt. The design of these is really interesting. I think the aesthetic of the company is gorgeous, and yeah, the coveralls in particular, they're fairly involved. So yeah, I'm looking forward. They're not the Kickstarter's just closed, and then the patterns individually will go on sale at a later date after the Kickstarter rewards have first been issued. But yeah, definitely one to follow, and I'm really looking forward to the release of those patterns, and also what the company do next. So in terms of what else I'm working on, so at the moment I wasn't going to participate in the Tilly and the Buttons Sew a Christmas Sweater competition, but then I saw Kathy from Sew Dainty's entry and a couple of others on Instagram, and that was combined with some Christmas film watching, and I got tempted. So I'm hoping to finish a Christmas sweater before the competition deadline, which is it's next weekend, so it's in a week's time. I think it closes on the Sunday, and I've got to say I do think that photo challenges, if they can finish on a weekend, is so helpful, because if a challenge finishes in the week, in the winter, it's so hard to get photos if you're sewing up to fairly close to the deadline, which certainly I often am. So yes, I'm hoping to finish a Christmas sweater for that competition. I'm really enjoying seeing what everyone else has made. Obviously, I've also been really enjoying seeing the Sew Frosting entries. I didn't get a chance to sew anything specifically for Sew Frosting, but I have got some Sew Frosting type projects planned for this Christmas. So I'm hoping to sew a Christmas party dress with trend patterns, 70s dress pattern. And I'm also making a little faux fur jacket using the Tamarack grain line pattern, and just have a really simple, I'm not going to do the pockets etc, just have a simple lined faux fur jacket if it works. Hopefully it will, because I'm going to do a bag lining on it, which obviously isn't something that the Tamarack includes, because the Tamarack has bias binding all the way around, but obviously that won't work for faux fur. But that was the silhouette that I wanted, the Tamarack, so I thought let's give it a try. So those are a couple of things I'm working on at the moment, and hoping to finish before Christmas and wear out to a few parties. So in terms of what other bloggers and vloggers have been releasing recently, I really enjoyed the Stitch Sisters recent vlogs. They did 3 vlogs of great Christmas presents to buy, things that you might want yourself or to buy for others, and they did 3 vlogs. They did a budget one, the stocking fillers, they did a mid-range, and then they did a high ticket item. And they were all from Minerva Crafts, but yeah, they were really good. I really enjoyed those vlogs, and I ordered a couple of the smaller stocking filler items for myself recently. So I definitely recommend checking those out. And then in terms of blogs, a couple that I really liked, Camille from Attack of the Seam Ripper, get this right, and who also works for Deer and Doe, did an absolutely beautiful version of their Magnolia dress. Yeah, the floor sweeper velvet, so absolutely stunning. That's definitely worth a read. Yeah, Camille always makes beautiful things, and her blog's always a good read anyway. And then Kathy from Sew Dainty made a lovely version of the Lisbon cardigan, which that was one of those times when it's a pattern that you hadn't really looked at before, and then immediately goes on your to sew list. Yeah, it's really lovely in a beautiful fabric. And finally, I was just going to show you, so I have had some success knitting baubles. So this was the first one I made, and this was the recommended needle size, which I think is a 3. Or a 3.5 in a DK wool. It was a little bit bigger than I wanted, so I sized down 1 needle size, but for this one, actually there's not a massive amount of difference. It is slightly neater though. I think this is definitely an improvement. It's the same pattern on these 2, but I'm trying to use, because the book has, I think, 55 different patterns, so I'm trying to knit a different pattern with each bauble. So I've knit 1 more since this, and then I'm going to keep going, hopefully at least maybe 5 this year, if not any more, and then I can keep adding to the tree each year, knit a few more baubles. So thanks for watching, everyone. I hope you've had a good weekend and that you've got lots of exciting parties and other things planned for December.